glow of neon nights, when arcades hummed and dreams took flight. Now I sip coffee in this digital haze, trying to decode these modern days. I'm a child of the 80s, living today. The world's on fast forward, I'm stuck on play. Thankful for my crew who still stand tall, in a time where we swipe but barely call. The vinyl spins in my cluttered den, the mixtapes whisper of where I've been. These days they stream, but I held tapes tight. Each rewind a memory, each pause just right. I'm a child of the 80s, living today. The world's on fast forward, I'm stuck on play. Thankful for my crew who still stand tall, in a time where we swipe but barely call. Vinyl spins in my cluttered den, the mixtapes whisper of where I've been. These days they stream, but I held tapes tight. Each rewind a memory, each pause just right. I'm a child of the 80s, living today. The world's on fast forward, I'm stuck on play. Thankful for my crew who still stand tall, in a time where we swipe but barely call. I see their memes and their filtered glow, but where's the soul, where'd the moments go? I'll take my grainy Polaroid frame over the fleeting likes of this pixel. Years and laughs with friends who stay in a world that changes every day. They keep me grounded as times rewind, an 80s heart in a future's bind.
Tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.
Yeah, Freestyle Friday number 17. My name is E-Double, his name is Tom Petty, and here we go. Small pond, big pond, the fish are the only difference. City out of harmony, lingering on the dissonance. Fishermen wrapping up citizens with their fishing nets. Sometimes chemical, some played old imprisonment. Dissidents laughing at themselves as if they had a voice, acting like technology really gives them a better choice. Protect the borders as we stack up our elitism. Defeatism is what we pretend that we keep believing in. I'm straddling both lines, the quietest revolt. Politicians fake like they caring that we vote. Legalese verbose, cause if it's plain English, then that's ADD riddle, and riddle children might get it. And if they do, then you're fucked. When they know what's up, you might start seeing public servants dressed as little punks.
Well, good morning, coffee beans. Hope you're doing well this morning. Had a major video drop yesterday from the H3H3 crew. We're going to go over that this morning. We're going to discuss it. We're going to try to maybe ascertain, determine, is Ethan a hero or is he a hypocrite? At the end of the day, I would love to have you guys' thoughts, opinions, in the comments down below. All right. So remember, guys, if all else fails, coffee is always the answer. Always the answer. Okay. So over the past several months, maybe even a year at this point, Ethan Klein, Ethan and Hila, his wife, have been in an ongoing battle of words, wits, criticism, critiques, with Hassan Piker and some of his, I guess, orbiters, for lack of a better word. You've got there's the whole Reddit, sphere out there that, you know, they've got the H3H3 snark Reddit. They've got people like Denims, Frogan, Casey Tron, I guess, that are have been going after him. Bad Empanada, to name another one. And yes, and Ethan had alluded to on his Twitter. He said that there was another content nuke that was dropping. He said this one was going to change the platform as we saw it. Now, there's a lot of speculation. Some people speculate, oh, it's going to be another. There's going to be another on Hassan, right? Some thought maybe it was going to be on different people. Boy, this one I didn't see. I personally thought he was going to probably do some sort of a video on maybe Empanada or Frogan, somebody like that. I did not. I didn't see this one. This one blew my mind. And so, just getting into it here. Get up there. Here you go. He dropped this video. It's 20 minutes long. I'm gonna crank up the playback speed on this just a smidge so we can kind of get through this. And with any further ado, let's just get into it.
Inspired by Hassan. He has the Hassan industrial complex.
Hang on.
I want the Ethan industrial complex. I think it's a good idea. I like it.
Stop. Wrong tab was playing, guys. I apologize. Let's try this again. Here we go.
Hi there. My name is Ethan Klein, and my favorite hobby is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers. Today, I invite you into my home to share my favorite pastime with you.
Now, right off the bat, they, my understanding, I was watching, I was interested in what Lockout talked about this last night. I wanted to hear what Keemstar had to say, because Keemstar and Ethan go way back. And they were saying on there that was fake money. It doesn't look like fake money to me. It looks like real money. Now, I don't believe for one moment that Ethan will face any type of repercussions because of this. But for the record, I want to let you guys know, burning money or destroying money in any way is against the law. So I wouldn't recommend going out and doing it. Because you might be one of the lucky ones that the federal government decides to go after. So just a thought.
With you. Join me in creating generational wealth for my attorney. Let me tell you guys a story. About a year and a half ago, there's a big conversation called ReactGate. ReactGate was a debate going on in the streaming community about what constituted fair use. People like Hassan, XQC, and many of the large Twitch streamers would watch other creators' entire video on their stream. They would rarely add sufficient commentary or even pause the video to speak. Most egregiously, they would re-upload the entire VOD to YouTube with the same thumbnail, the same title.
So when I first started watching, because I've already watched this yesterday when it dropped. When I first started watching this, and he went back to this ReactGate that that he again was a part of, and he talks about his. He mentions, brings up XQC and stuff. I was like, where is he going with this? Right? Because when you open up the video, the title of the video is, I'm suing these three creators. I was like, surely to goodness, he's not and if you read on down in the description, he lists, he's suing Frogan, Denims, and Caseytron, right? And, I was like, this is a pretty bold plan here, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him, because because I myself have dealt with people filing what I believed were false copyright claims against when I've done videos and I've used portions of the creator's content for contextual purposes only. I don't tend to use an entire video. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'll use the segments that I need to prove the point that I want to prove, and then I move on. But I have had disagreements with other creators because there's some creators out there believe that you cannot use any of their videos because it is their intellectual property. And the only way to truly fully settle it is, again, they file a copyright takedown, or they file a copyright notice with YouTube. You file a counterclaim. You provide why you think that it is within the confines of fair use. And then YouTube turns around and puts that back on the creator that filed the claim. And then they have to either proceed with legal proceedings against you, where you go into court, you go before a judge, you present your case, they present their case, and the judge ultimately decides. Now, Ethan Klein did this, right? And famously, Philip DeFranco started a GoFundMe to fund this lawsuit, because at the time, Ethan was not the powerhouse that he is today when it comes to being a creator. And when you go and file, when you're doing a copyright, legal proceedings, they can become quite costly. And so they started this fund called the FUPA Fund. And Ethan Klein, for small creators such as myself and others that I know and have spoke with over the years, became kind of the poster boy for fair use. And numerous times I've cited that legal precedence that was set, because it was the first, to my knowledge, it was the first well-known copyright case where this went before a judge, and they were able to settle what was fair use, or give us at least a guideline ruling on what was considered fair use. Each case is unique, and each judge can rule based upon their knowledge and their understanding and their the law. But a lot of times when that first one comes down the pipe, it kind of sets what they call precedence. And that's what the Ethan and Hila Klein versus Matt Haas case did. It set precedence. And so, excuse me, allergies this morning, got a little bit of drainage here. I apologize. And that's what that case did, is it set precedence. And so now for the very person who set the precedence of what, for us small creators out there, to be suing somebody for IP theft, I was like, ooh, this is not a good look. And as a general rule, within the quote, not within the quote, within commentary, within, I guess reaction, part of the internet, it's always been frowned upon to sue somebody that uses your content. Has there been times where people I felt were not necessarily as fair use as I would have liked to when they used some of my videos? There may have been one or two times, but it was like, I'm going to give the people the benefit of the doubt, right? And it's never supposed to be about when someone takes something that you do, the content that you create or whatever. It's not about whether or not if they're tearing you apart. Your feelings or emotions shouldn't get involved as far as, they said these things about me, they hurt my feelings, and so I'm going to take it down because I don't like what they said about me. It should never, ever, ever be about that. It should always just simply be about, did they steal my intellectual property or not? Right? And so that's what you have to objectively set and try to determine. And so when I first saw the opening, and I know we're only 52 seconds into this video, and we're going to get through more of it, I promise. But I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a glimpse of why I think it's this one here is going to be a difficult call. I think a lot of creators out there that over the years, like I said, have looked to that case that was originally, with Ethan and his wife versus Matt Haas. And now that guy, Ethan, is now suing creators because of that. But anyway, let's get back into the video and let's hear why Ethan believes that why he's doing this is justified.
So that they could cannibalize traffic from the original video. Here's what Lamino had to say about this phenomenon.
Okay, we're going to skip all this because he's just pretty much setting up the right here, I think.
That I formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published?
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even better than I imagined it would. We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published.
Now here's here. Okay, so he brings up a thing. He says that they immediately responded to it and didn't, take any time to formulate ideas or thoughts or what have you. Good morning there, Kangalope. I don't know, honestly, if it's necessary to pre-watch a video. Is it beneficial to pre-watch a video, take some notes, write down some of your thoughts? I'm not opposed to it. I think that's okay. Like I said, I've already watched this video. I watched this video. Some of my friends watched this video. We discussed it. We talked about it. We didn't see eye to eye on this. We didn't see eye to eye on this at all. My first reaction to all this, honestly, was good for Ethan. Right? Because I allowed my bias, because I don't like Frogan. I don't like what she said about our troops. Backed it up, doubled down on it, and then tried to say, "Oh no, that's not what I said." Da, 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 da. I don't like her. I think she's a vile, evil person. I did not like Denham's as a parent when she was propagating this narrative and was all in and encouraging of when the Child Protective Services came in to Ethan and Gila's lives because people called in saying that their children were in danger and were living in squalid conditions. And there was nothing but far from the truth. Because I know what happens when a government entity such as Child Protective Services get involved in people's lives, what it does to them. Because it's disruptive and it's very traumatizing, not only for the parents, but for the children. And listen, Child Protective Services in a lot of instances and cases come in, they do good work because there are children that are in extreme situations that do need rescuing. And I'm all for that, right? But in this situation, in this case, they were used as a weapon to attack this family. And I was not in favor of that. And Denham's was okay with that. And Casey Tron, don't know anything about her. Didn't have opinion, but those two I did. So I was like, all right, let's go. They ran their mouths. They did the FA, and now they're going to FO. The FO. It's an equation. They fucked around, and now they're going to find out. And I was okay with that. I didn't have no problems with that. But then after, again, having conversations with my friends and stuff, and then I stewed on it last night. And I was like, I don't know if this is the right move or not. I don't know. This is the move that he's decided to, but to me, it just feels a little bit icky. That's the way I can put it.
The thing is, there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. For example, Denim sits here silently with nearly 50,000 live viewers. That's 30 times her regular viewership.
And so here's the thing, Ethan, these guys, I don't want to sound like an Ethan simp, but I don't want to sound like I'm beating the H3H3 drums here. But there's no doubt in my mind, there's zero doubt in my mind that when he's telling this story that he sat down with his legal team and he said, okay, I want to set a trap. I want to inflict as much monetary pain as I can on these people. What trap can I set? And there's no doubt in my mind, he sat down with his legal team and they said, okay, here's what you do. And so that's what they did, right? He made a video. Like he said, he set the bait. The bait was the video. And as we can see right here on the screen, this is Denim's. They went out and they collected data and they dotted the I's and they crossed her T's. And her average viewers, guys, she averages about 1,600 viewers. The peak viewers that she has ever had was 6,268. That's the thing about the internet and all this information and stuff out there. It's all able to be gleaned. It's all salvageable data that is able to be pulled down. When she did her, quote, react stream to the H3H3 nuke that he did on Hassan, she had over 49,000 viewers, right? And as Ethan says, right, what was it he said?
For example, Denim sits here silently with nearly 50,000 live viewers. That's 30 times her regular.
30 times. It was 30 times what her normal view count was. 30 times that. Yeah. So he's already set the groundwork to say, okay, here is loss revenue, right? Because that's what this is all about. When you say that they stole your IP, you have, and you're suing for copyright infringement, you have to show damages. It's not just a matter of going in and saying, Your Honor, they watched my video. You have to be able to also assess damages. You have to be able to say, hey, this person stole views, which equates to money. At the end of the day, it equates to money. And that's what this all boils down to is money, money, money.
Viewership. She's working directly with the Snark subreddit moderators to siphon views, and their intentions couldn't be clearer. Here's an excerpt from a sticky post from the Snark subreddit. Hey everyone, we've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch the nuke without showing support for H3. Here's a list of creators who've supported our sub, either by engaging with us directly or citing our post in their critique of H3. Here they're offering these streamers as market substitutes for my work. This is the cardinal sin of copyright infringement. The Snark subreddit has been a frequent and persistent infringer.
So there you go. He has them dead to rights. Ethan literally has them dead to rights. Right? And he's bringing up the Snark subreddit. You see there, Frogan and link to her Twitch channel. Denim's and link to her Twitch channel. Caseytron and link to her Twitch channel. Right? And they're saying, hey, go watch these other creators. So therefore, you get to see the video, but you're not giving the views to Ethan, and you're not giving him any money. So he doesn't make any money off of this. He doesn't make any profit. He doesn't. So he loses. Right. So this is establishing the monetary loss. Right. This is a great step. This is a good first step where he's laying out his argument of how they stole his intellectual property, how he has suffered monetarily, right? So far, he's not making this personal. He's making this strictly about business, and he's making this about you stole from me. You took money out of my back pocket. Okay, so I'm with him so far on this deal.
That's how I knew when this video came out, the snarkers were going to encourage, promote, and push streamers to commit copyright infringement. I should thank the snarkers, actually. Because of their predictability, they acted like double agents for us, incriminating their favorite streamers and serving them up on a golden platter. So thank you, Snark. It's one thing for a subreddit to admit it's engaging in copyright infringement, but how do you get the streamers themselves to admit that they're stealing content?
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
It turns
Okay. So that was Denims. For those of you who may not know, that lovely young lady on the screen right there, that was Denims. And she flat out says, hey, if you liked what, if you liked this and you liked not giving any support, any views, any type of monetary gain to Ethan, instead, give me the money. Give your Prime subscription to me. Put money in my pocket. Subscribe to my channel. She's, as what is it they say, she busted in 4K, right? Caught in 4K. No ifs, ands, no buts, caught in 4K. Yeah.
Turns out they just do it for you. You couldn't cook up a more incriminating statement if you tried. Denims, the queen of self-owning, you prevail again. There's one thing about copyright you should know is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is the main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now, I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hassan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress.
So see, I didn't know that either. That right there was new information to me. I did not. So when all these people in the past have filed intellectual or copyright infringement against me. That's what a copyright strike is when they filed that against me. It has to be registered with the Library of Congress. Did not know that. Thank you, Mr. Klein, for making me aware of that. So again, this is why I'm saying Ethan sat down with his legal team, right? And this was a 4D chess move all the way around. Now you can hate Ethan. You can love Ethan, but you have to give the man his props as far as laying out a plan, setting up the plan, setting the trap, baiting the trap with a juicy little tidbit, and then allowing these people to walk into the trap and catch themselves, which is what he did. Now, again, like I said, I give the man his respect and dues on that part. This was definitely a 4D chess move. I still, like I said, I think he's well within his rights as far as the law, as I understand it. I'm not a lawyer, just a layman, but what I understand about, and so far what he's given is he's setting up that they are violating the pillars of what fair use is. They're violating them. Now, the other thing is does and will he show that they did not offer any time? So when you're doing a fair use of content, you have to be transformative in nature, which means you have to, you have to pause, you have to give your thoughts, you have to give your opinions, you have to give your, what you believe. You have to in some way manipulate the video, and, putting yourself in a corner, down in the corner and sitting and eating ramen noodles, or just leaving the chair empty, which a lot of these creators do, while someone else's content plays, that is not fair use, right? It's just not. But most creators, they don't go after them. They don't sue them. They just don't worry with it because it costs money. It costs money to sue people. And, you know, and so it's just, you know, you say, hey, you know, you reach out and say, yeah, I don't think what you did was fair use. And you try to, but if they don't, you know, at the end of the day, unless you're willing to invest money in a legal team, it's you know, all you're doing is burning money at the end of the day. But so far he's setting up where they're violating the 4 pillars. What he hasn't done, right? But I'm sure because again, he's not going to do all these steps unless he is going to break it down. Each one of these person's videos that they did, where they watched his content, and they're going to break it down second by second, minute by minute. How much of the content did they? And he does a little bit. He does go on, and we'll try to get into that in the video that he put out. And he shows it, especially with H3H3 in this video, because his content nuke was like, let's see. Hang on here. Let's see here. Find it here. So the content nuke was 1 hour and 42 minutes long, right? So if he sits there and, you know, you got an hour and 42-minute video, and their total time of speaking, like, and breaking it down is not proportionate, or I don't know what the exact percentage is. I'm sure there's some sort of formula that exists that says, okay, yeah, this is, you know, again, like I said, if they're sitting in the corner or they leave their chairs empty for a portion, you know, a large portion of it, that's just not fair use. Anyway, let's continue on with the video.
Some of you guys out there sweating? Even though theoretically I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, but the purpose of this is not financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know it.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime.
The state of reaction content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment. And with people like Hassan reacting to entire TV shows on stream, my fear is that Sony or Disney comes along, sues everybody, and sets a devastating precedent that could endanger our entire field. Now, before I tell you who the 3 people I'm suing are, I just want to make it clear that they all met this very specific high bar of criteria that I set forth earlier. These people were not targeted based on their gender, their identity, their political beliefs. All 3 are on this list. In fact, they're the only 3, as far as I could tell, that reacted to
So I know Ethan had to, I guess, for whatever sake, sit there and say, yeah, okay, I'm not doing it because of gender, religion, you know, politics. I guess he had to in this day and age. But to me, if you present your argument well enough, I don't think those have to be said. Sure, the other side can, like, oh, they're doing it because I'm whatever faith that I am. Or, yeah, he's doing it because, you know, I'm whatever gender I am, right? Or he's just doing it because he disagrees with me politically. They can make those arguments. Sure, they can throw that out there. But let them make that. Let them use that as the excuse or the cop-out. This is. I don't think Ethan should have said these. I understand that he's been in a, quote, battle of political disagreements between all 3 of these people that he's suing. I understand that. Everybody that's going to talk about this video, watch this video, everybody knows that he's been in disagreements with these people over political stances. I don't think he necessarily had to say that. I think that was a little bit, I think that was just a little bit not necessary.
the full video. Drum roll, please. Who's sweating at home, guys? H3H3, the queen of ripping farts and bong loads.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. Are you being serious? Dog, what do you, look, you think I made this?
Frogan, who, bless her soul, she's still rising.
Can I walk away and use the bathroom? Do I have permission? Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
Why is a grown person, that aside, whatever, but why do you have to ask permission to go to the restroom? You're grown. You know if you need to go to the restroom, get up, go to the restroom. Listen, put up a be right back play some music that is non-copyrighted music, just fair use, free to use music. Put it up, say, let's chat. I gotta take care of something. I'll be right. You don't even have to announce I gotta go to the bathroom. Just say, hey, I gotta take care of something. Put up, and put up a BRB, put a little bit of chill music or whatever in the background playing, and go take care of your business and come back. It's all right, let's go. Let's go. I understand, these guys stream for hours upon hours upon hours in the day. I understand they have to take breaks, right? And if you're getting hungry, put up a BRB, put up a little music. Say, guys, I got to take about a 10, 15-minute break. Go eat your food. I don't know about you guys, but I personally, having a bottle of water or having, having something to drink, that's one thing, right? You're talking a lot. Your mouth gets dry. And so, you have to take drinks of a liquid or whatever. That's fine. But when you're sitting there and you're streaming and talking about subjects and topics, I don't want to sit there and see you, eat your noodles or your bowl of rice or whatever it is that you're eating. That's just, I don't know. To me, that's just nasty. But what do I know, right?
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happened?
And Denim's the queen of self-owning. And my God, is she the queen of that?
It's very obvious from the way that guy's talking, he's a Sneeko fan.
Oh my God, bro, I love you. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
None of the hostages that have been released so far have said that they've been raped. The hostages have public statements. You can go look at them.
The sexual assault I experienced should never happen to any human being.
This Yemeni kid is...
So here's what I don't understand about this either, right? If this video is about the theft of his IP, right? Then why isn't he focusing on that? Why is he trying to throw these little digs at, not that he's not right, because he's right at Denim's and Frogan so far, right? Why is he throwing these little digs at them? To me, why didn't you stay on target, It's like I've seen out of Star Wars. Stay on target. Stay on target. Why go rambling everywhere, Ethan? I just think that, again, you had a mission, right? You worked this out with your legal team. You constructed a trap. You created a really good bait. You had people fall into this trap because the bait was too good, and you've got them. But now you're throwing these little... Look, I understand these people have upset you on an emotional level. I understand that these people attacked you, attacked your family. I get it. As a father, as a husband, I understand that. But you cannot allow pettiness, and it's tough. It is tough not to allow pettiness to get in there sometimes. But I think in this situation, when this whole video is about you filing lawsuits against these three individuals, you getting petty and doing things like that just to prove, this is, I don't know. But again, it is a content nuke. He says it's a content nuke. So, I guess good for him. But I just think I don't know. I just think this was the wrong move, my personal opinion, to go into those snarky, jabs and stuff at him, irrespective if he's right or not. I just, when the whole thing was about his announcement of the lawsuits against these people, but I guess I'm a small little, 1,000 sub YouTuber, and he's a multi-million sub YouTuber. So, and it's his party, y'all. If he wants to be snarky, I guess he can.
It's just a Yemeni kid with a gun and is not a Houthi, and there is no proof of him being a Houthi.
Are you a soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive.
He never said Hassan Nasrallah was a good guy.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Now for the fun part. Let's take a look at the complaints, and let's start with my favorite of the three, the very own, the prestigious, the highly acclaimed, the highly analytical Casey Tron.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're going to watch it.
Well, that's a really dumb thing to say, don't you think?
That is a dumb thing to say, because you're setting up the fact that, yes, you're okay with people and that you are intentionally doing this to steal his views and to steal his IP. That was very stupid. I don't know. I don't think I've ever watched Casey Tron. If I did, it didn't make an impact on me. But that was a very dumb thing to say. Very, very dumb thing.
Why are you so comfortable? We've given each complaint a clever little title, and here's Casey Tron's. She smoked more than she spoke. Casey Tron.
Okay, so he finished showing the lawsuit, and that's, come on. Okay, whatever.
Smoked 42 times during her reaction. And just as a silly thought experiment, we thought, wouldn't it be funny if she spent more time smoking than she did talking? And thinking there was no way that that could be true. Well, we tallied them up, and lo and behold, there's 15 minutes, 40 seconds of commentary versus 18 minutes and 55 seconds of smoking.
Okay, so again, remember, the content nuke itself was like an hour and a half long, right? She spent 18 minutes and 55 seconds smoking the old devil's lettuce, hitting the old ganja, right? No shade. Hey, listen, I don't care if she's smoking weed or not. I do what you got to do, right? No judgment there. But you can't sit there and do that 18 minutes of a hour and 25-minute video, and then only you spend 15 minutes commentary. So essentially, all she did was 15 minutes out of an hour and 25-minute video. She spent 15 minutes. Not to mention, at the very beginning, she stated that she was going to be doing this so that other people would, so that people wouldn't have to watch the video; they could just watch hers. That wasn't very good.
Spent 3 minutes and 15 seconds longer smoking than she did talking in her quote-unquote reaction. And whatever talking she did was just to express how confused she was, presumably from smoking 42 times.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
The complaint continues. Indeed, Casey Tron is often too obliterated to comment on the nuke, and instead stares blankly at her computer screen. In a span of 2 hours and 7 minutes, Casey Tron smokes marijuana, frequently in highly concentrated forms through vaporizers, on 42 separate occasions. At one point, Casey Tron is so wasted that she states, quote, "What is happening? I'm trying to follow, but I've lost the plot." To give you an idea, the majority of her commentary comes down to this.
I don't understand this bit that he's doing.
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
If this is truly an accurate representation of her watch of this video and reaction to this video and thought, I don't know. Again, I'm layman. I'm just a layman, not a lawyer. But I would think that this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good for her.
CPM's coming out of Qatar.
What the hell is going on?
Right?
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. Are you being serious? Dog, what do you look? You think I made this? This isn't a music video, Hassan.
And as dumb as all of that is, this is the part that really got her sued.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're going to watch it. What the fuck is going on here?
Stating outright that her intention of doing this is so that people who don't want to support me can watch it through her is why copyright infringement laws exist. You could not and should not do that, especially if your commentary consists of you taking bong.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Why would you say that? That you're just setting yourself up for, I don't know.
Loads. At least try to engage with the content. Whoa, what was that? Oh, sorry. That was a flying star. It almost got me. You know her and you love her, guys. Frogan. Reaction by exiting. Here she is getting up to leave the video running as she steps out of the room. Is that transformative? I guess the judge will decide. She said, quote, "It's time to watch the new nuke ethically." Hell yeah. Huh. Very smart to say on camera, by the way. She said, quote, "Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me." Well, you are so welcome, and I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy that day. Her commentary is so non-existent that even her own fans begin to call her out.
I don't have anything to say. Dude, because he's cycling the same fucking points over and over again. What more commentary do you need on him repeating the same fucking points for the whole first hour and 1 minute and 32 seconds? It's been the same shit over and over again. This video could have been condensed into 20 fucking minutes. Like, what commentary do you want me to add by, like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, he's mentally ill, and he's having a mental breakdown and uploaded it to fucking YouTube? They're gonna make at least one good point. What do you want me to make a point on?
Oh, I forgot. She also...
You know, I think these guys have gotten so comfortable, right, doing the stuff that they've done, which is intellectual theft. Not just Ethan's stuff, per se, because that's what he's alleging. We don't know that yet. But like when they watch those actual television programs, you know, remember back when the whole React Gate or whatever it was happened? And the whole thing was about them watching fully copyrighted, licensed things like Hell's Kitchen, things of that nature. They're watching it. And they came in, they said, hey, stop it. Well, yeah, but I'm exposing. The argument is always that I'm exposing your content to people, you know, and look, there's ways of exposing content, right? You tell the people who that is, right? The kind of gracious thing is to link the video that you react to in the description down below, which I will do when I'm through with this stream. I will put a link to Ethan's video. Now, ain't nobody watches me, but on the happenstance that they come around, well, I want to see without this rambling old man's input. I want to see and watch it in entirety to see if maybe do I agree with his thoughts or not, or whatever. And I highly recommend that any video that I ever go over, talk about, discuss, go watch it without my input afterwards. See if you agree. Maybe you don't. Maybe you totally maybe I missed something. Come back over here in my, and say, hey, I think you missed this. And explain. And I, more times than not, will enter into a conversation with you in the comments down below. That's the great thing being about a small creator like me. I will engage with you guys. I do, I do thumbs up and little hearts and, but then again too, if you put something in there that's just completely and totally just ludicrous, I'm not beyond pinning it so the whole world can see your comment and just how silly it was, right? Get the quote, pin of shame. I do it. But anyway, let's get on with the video here.
Said, can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing. You may use the bathroom, Frogan, although I don't advise it.
Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
This into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and
apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happens?
But you just pause it. That's it. You just pause the video, right? Like you get up and you go to the bathroom, you just pause it. They should be watching for you. But if you get up to go to the bathroom and they keep watching my video, they're clearly not watching for you, right? As lazy and pathetic as her reaction is, this is not why she's getting sued. This is.
Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me. First time viewer, time to watch the Nuke Ethically? Hell yeah. I found my way from Reddit. Hi guys, welcome Reddit people. Reddit people, Reddit people. I came from the H3 credit. Ethan is so pathetic while his son is in Japan and father having a great time. Exactly. We're gonna watch it live, yes. He doesn't want people to know when it's dropping because we're all watching through other streamers. And I suggest you all watch it through other people as well.
It's the stated malicious intent to steal. They talk about watching it.
Yeah, he's got her to dead rights there. Well, she's sitting there and good morning, Nuclear. Yeah, he's got her to dead rights too. She's like, she's saying, watch it through other people. Don't watch Ethan's. Again, like I said, when you stream as long as these, for length of period of time that these guys stream during the day, I understand you have to take care of things that pops up through the day. I get that. But put up a BRB, put up some chill music. Don't just leave the chair empty and the video playing. That's just not cool. It's just not. It's minimal. Or even better yet, how about this? Because a lot of these guys have video editors and stuff that chop up their streams and put out, segments, whatever. Have those people put together like a funny montage of crazy things that have happened in, recent streams or something, and give you like a 10 or 15 minute video or something that you can put up and play as filler while you go, I don't know, pick up your Uber Eats or use the restroom or whatever it is, and just have a little funny montage playing. If you didn't want to just do a generic BRB with some music playing. I think it's just minimal effort. Anyway, let's continue.
Ethically, but I learned not to steal when I was 5. Up next is Denims. And honestly, just take a look at this, guys. It's a nightmare on Denim Street. Not only did she chair react, but she was kind enough to write her name right at the top just so that we knew that she was stealing my content and it was her room and nobody else's. Judge, did you know that we're on Denim Street right now? Here's some quotes from Denims. We're relying on you to stay live so we don't have to give the nuke views. Yeah, I'm going to stream it. Since he's confirmed it's coming out today, I'm going to stream it. That is very explicit. Denim said, quote, well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, give me a follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like my content. Your content? The Queen of Self-Own included a countdown timer so we could tell exactly how long she was away. After being gone for a few minutes, she returns and then sits silently for another couple of minutes eating.
I'm gonna go pee, and hopefully, when I'm back, they're done with this.
All right.
You do look better.
Mr. 305. I see it.
Dude, you should do this.
I have an alternate.
We're relying on you to stay live so we don't get more views on the nuke. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. Since he confirmed it's coming out today, we're gonna stream it. If you want to watch it with someone else who's already watching it, you know, come enjoy the watch party somewhere else. If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. Because I'm gonna be honest, I did not want to watch that by myself.
Let me also commercialize.
So here's the thing too, again, right? So he kind of showed it a little bit with Casey-tron. He didn't really show too much with Frogan. And we've only got about 4 minutes or so left of the video. So something tells me he's not going to go too deep into Denims here. Yes, so they conspired to have watch parties to watch Ethan's content, right? To steal views from him. That's wrong. Unequivocally, that is against, you know, that is an infringement. Okay. But to me, it's going to boil down to, were they transformative when they did these quote watch parties? Okay. Were they transformative? That to me is where it hinges. And I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, like I said, ultimately it's going to wind up before a judge. Will this get to a judge? I don't know. I don't know. You know, is Denims, is Frogan, is Casey-tron going to try to settle before, you know, just to keep it out of the court? This is one of those things where we'll have to wait and we'll have to watch and we'll have to see. I don't believe this is something that's going to be settled in just a month or two. This is going to be kind of a long drawn out purpose or long drawn out deal, rather, not a purpose, but a long drawn out thing. These type of things are, whenever you get to the courts, because this is a civil thing, it's going to take, and I'll tell you who's going to get rich? Lawyers. Lawyers are going to get rich. And the thing that is kind of, for me, okay. So I don't know what financial standings these three creators, Frogan, Denims, and Casey-tron, I don't know what their financial standings and stuff are, right? But these types of lawsuits can be extremely, extremely costly, right? And I know for a fact, matter of fact, let me find it here. Yeah. Denims put out a tweet saying, it's 2025 and Ethan Klein is suing creators for fair use. Legal defense fund below. Stream coming soon. Image unrelated. We're all trying to find the guy who did this. I don't know. Anyway, but anyway, here's the fundraiser that she's doing. She's raised $6,000 so far of $100,000 goal. So as you can tell by that, right? 100,000 is her goal. These things are not cheap. They're not cheap. So the only ones who are going to actually wind up, I think, losing on this deal, honestly, truthfully, is the fans of these three creators, because they'll pony up. They're already doing it for Casey-tron, or I'm sorry, for Denims. They're, you know, sending their money for a GoFundMe. What else was it? There was a tweet. I forgot to get it here. Let me find it here if I can find it. Okay, here we go. What did Frogan do? Well, evidently, according to Cactus here, Frogan's nuked all of her VODs. And goes on to say, I'm sure that the judge will look kindly on her destroying evidence. Well, this is pure speculation on my part. Pure speculation. But I'm fairly certain Ethan probably has everything that he needs already yanked down. So it doesn't matter if she, in fact, did purge her channel. I don't think it matters at this point. What has Casey Tron said about this? Well, she did a stream. Let's hear what she has to say.
Blast you, Ethan Klein. Blast you to fucking hell. No, like, what the fuck? Oh, this no good motherfucker and his ugly ass wife. Fucking cunt. God. No, let me tell you. Blast.
So evidently, Casey Tron's taking it well because, why wouldn't you when you find out you're being sued? Ethan had to say this on his Instagram. Oh, hell no, this orc did not just call my wife ugly. It's like that. We'll see, right? So anyway, and then he has a picture of his Gila there, right? So at least it's not ugly or anything like that, right? So I just got here, start over. No, you go back to the beginning and do it on your own time. I can't this morning. Hassan had this to say. Let's see what Brother Hassan has to say about this whole situation.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
And it's actually crazy how many people are seemingly making a decent living.
Yeah, I mean, this is a desperate attempt to grab on to fucking any sort of controversy and drama. I'm sure that me reacting to it is actually playing into exactly what he wanted to do. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is specifically so that you guys go and show support to Denims, Frogan, and Casey Tron.
So here's my question. I'm curious. There, Mr. Hassan, since you're kind of the de facto leader of this squad, if you will, whether or not you wanted it or not, you are. Are you going to help these three individuals kind of incur these legal expenses? I mean, you're all about sharing, right? About sharing the wealth. So share some of your wealth. Give it to these people and help them fight this legal battle against this horrible, heinous person, Ethan Klein. Do you think Hassan's going to do that? You think that's going to happen? No, I don't think so. I don't think he will. I don't think that he'll throw. Oh, yeah, sure. I'm sure he'll probably throw a few $100 or maybe $1,000 or something like that. He might even get really jiggy and maybe throw 10 or 15, 20, who knows? But I don't think it'll be a substantial amount of money, by no means.
Creators of the snark.
Hang on, just a second, Ethan. We're gonna get to you in a second. So yesterday, after the video dropped, anyway, Ethan was on his podcast, anyway, he had this to say.
Creators of the snark that I show in this video, they colluded with these creators to help create a market substitute for my work. And it was pinned by moderators. So these moderators are named as co-conspirators. And now that we've filed a complaint officially, we can subpoena Reddit for to see if they have any identifying information so that we can also sue them.
So now, there you go. There you go, guys. He's going after these Redditors too, right? Because he's got them labeled as co-conspirators, right? So the anonymity, don't think it's going to work. You know, again, like I said, guys, it's that FAFO equation. It's the FAFO equation. Another person, hot off of a big lawsuit, Billy Mitchell, says, for anyone wondering, H3H3's lawsuit against the 3 streamers is not subject to an anti-slap motion, nor is it a slap. Copyright infringement is not a protected activity under the Constitution, e.g. freedom of expression. So, Mr. Billy Mitchell, who just got off of a big win over Call Jobs, he says, hey, they can't do an anti-slap. They can't just yeet this thing out of existence, but with a slap counter. No, they're going to wind up going to court, or they're going to wind up having to work out some sort of a settlement, right? Or they'll have to, like I say, if they go to court, they could try to get the judge to dismiss this suit on merit, but I don't know. I don't think that Ethan would have gone to this extreme. It took all these steps, like dotted all those I's, crossed all those T's, to where he couldn't get past what's called summary judgment. I just don't think for 1 second that he would not be that prepared to do this. And since XQC was brought up in that video, here's what XQC had to say.
Well, I mean, he acts like a Chad, and it's a cool bit, but there's a lot less money to collect on overall, and it's gonna be a pure loss. It is what it is, and he knows this. He knows this because his initial lawsuit way back when was an absolute pure loss too, and it's how these things go. Like, it is what it is. I mean, there's no real what, especially what is it some California thing? I mean, GG. But I mean, it's.
So I don't think XQC is necessarily wrong here, right? And he's right. When the lawsuit was all said and done on the initial FUPA thing, right, with the when Ethan and Gila was going against Matt House was going after them, rather, and there was a lot of money that was raised for the FUPA, and I think there was, if memory, don't quote me on this, but I believe there was like maybe 1 or 2 other people that was actually kind of helped with that whole deal. But when it was all said and done, that the fund got drained. There was nothing. XQC's right. Ethan is probably not going to get like a ton of money, right? He does say, hang on here, if I can find it here at the end of his video. Let's see here. I think it's right in here. I think this is where he's kind of
if they've gotten that she thinks she can go out on. Well, there you have it. 3 separate lawsuits for 3 separate geniuses. Now, I want to make it clear again, and I hope it's been obvious about why I'm suing these 3 people and not others. These people not only violated all the principles of fair use, they also did it maliciously. And that's the part that really got me. I think if you're a reactor on Twitch, for the most part, if you make a good faith effort to comment, and if you make a good faith effort to promote the author, to link to them, to try to drive traffic to the original video, I think you're probably pretty much doing the right thing, and that's fine. And I would never sue someone for that. Take it to these 3 absolute morons to state their intention to steal my property on video. And to all the detractors who are saying that I'm targeting women, that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement, I just have this to say. I don't care. What I do hope, though, is that you'll support their crowdfunding efforts to defend themselves. Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great time.
So, yeah, like I said, he's like, hey, send them lots of money. Because he knows with that statement, XQC is right. And I just kind of want to show that little statement from Ethan to kind of show that Ethan knows that there is no pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, right? There is no, he's not going to get like some big substantial, windfall of money. That's just not going to happen. But I think what he can do and what his intentions, I'm speculating here. I don't have any direct connection or communications or anything like that with Ethan. But what I suspect possibly is that he's trying to teach them a lesson, and it's going to be a very costly lesson for them. It could end up with them in the poorhouse. It could literally bankrupt them. And I think this is where the pettiness comes into play. I think this is where the emotional side of this lawsuit comes into this. Because again, remember Denham's and what she said about the CPS calls to his children, right? Some of the very nasty snarkiness stuff that Frogan has said to Ethan. My closing thoughts and final thoughts on all this. Again, I think Ethan was very deliberate. This was definitely a very strategic plan that he did with his legal team. I believe he probably has his I's dotted, his T's crossed. He probably will, I suspect he will probably prevail in this lawsuit. But ultimately, do I think this is a good thing? I don't. I'm still not a real big proponent of one creator suing another creator. There's no doubt in my mind that these three creators that identified did not do it in fair use. I do think they were very malicious and intent on stealing his property. I think they probably did steal his intellectual property. But it still just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You mean you're done talking about this till Sunday? Sure, yeah, we're going to do a Clear as Mud Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sure we will discuss it. I'm sure my co-host will have comments or thoughts about this as well. We can definitely go over it again. Again, these are just my thoughts. This is just my opinion. I understand why he's doing it, but I don't think it's good. Hey, Zero Core, I just don't think this is a good deal. I just don't. I think when it's all said and done, I think that this is going to cause more pain than it is good. So, anyway, there's my thoughts. It's a hot topic. I wanted to be in on the hot topic for once, guys. And this actually kind of interesting because it's copyright, and copyright stories interest me. But anyway, listen, guys, appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great Friday. We'll see you Sunday on Clear as Mud. Remember, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, guys, remember, what do we do around here? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, guys. We're going to keep our powder dry, and I will see you in the funny paper.